Welcome to As I Found It's second video blog. Dennis Nichols. I have been musing about the esoteric things such as archival properties of my digital image photographs. Been thinking about archival properties of my non-digital images too. They are related but different problems. Somehow between the thinking and a radio program called Ideas, the specific segment entitled Closing the Book, I set off on a tangent from the CBC program. Quote here: "The world of letters is being rocked by new technology. The rapid rise of the e-reader could be the biggest change in books since Gutenberg invented movable type. Readers, writers, booksellers, and publishers are all grappling with its implications and asking a fundamental question: is a book really a book when it exists only in a digital file?" CBC producer Sean Perpick goes between the covers of the question. This program just got my mind going, and I was off in all directions. We will return to the subject of this archival business in future essays. A link to the Ideas program is part of the hard text on the blog page. I advise you to take it and listen to the program. It was really very interesting and quite fascinating. To more specifically address Sean's fundamental question, a book is little more than a collection of words and concepts, almost always about some specific idea or ideas, and usually of some unified thematic topic. Most dictionary definitions of book imply or specify pages held together. This is distinct from scrolls, which are long, and tablets, which tend to be unitary. Closing the book takes a look at the world of digital publishing and the predicted demise of the hard book publishing. It was stimulating and interesting, and like all predictive models that relate to science and technology, profoundly wrong, beyond the most shallow of concepts. Not the subject of this blog series, but if you are interested, why not go to my science blog? It appears that the publishing industry, which includes everything, not just books, is handling this revolution about as well as music did. In a word, poorly. They are stuck with an old model and trying to find out how to make the new thing fit it, instead of how to make the industry fit the new model. Some of my younger readers are impatient with the 500-word essay format. Too much writing. I do not think my voice is all that appealing, and if you listen to the link and my musings, it will spend about an hour. Seems the 500 words is way quicker. Well, young readers, too bad. A couple of hundred characters is totally inadequate for some subjects. Get over it. Stop being a victim of the soundbite-itis. As I recall, the advice is something like this: there is a time and a season for everything. Anyway, it got me thinking about the concept of the photo essay. If you can figure this one out, let me know how it happened. We have all seen them. Photo essays are both long and short collections of images that tell a story, usually with a few or no words. My experience with the ebook gadgets is limited, but what I see most often than not is poor or very limited image rendering. Now note, pads, iPads, image readers, small laptops are all better at this, but they have their own shortcomings. Popular ebook readers are simply not able to deliver images with sufficient clarity to meet our criteria. not one of their mandates either. That does not mean that they will never be able to do so. It simply means not now, not yet, and probably not for a while, maybe even a very long time. Remember, it took society roughly 40 years from Gutenberg's printing system introduction to get page numbers on pages. It will be some time before technology can do for the reader what ancient woodcuts, steel engravings, modern offset lithography does and did for books. Now, don't think that just because you are modern and society seems to be moving today quicker than it ever has before, we need not take lessons or inspiration from the past. What we see, do, and have today is founded on the substrate of the past and all that was seen and done by our ancestors. Please note that I am looking only at the photo essay and not at the coffee table, artistic retrospective, journalistic compendium, and any number of textbooks and other publications. Only photo essays. I'm a modern person. In every sense of the word. While you, the reader, may not realize it, I have always been at the leading edge of technological innovation and utilization. This is not to say that I just blindly accept new stuff. Oh no, no. It either cuts mustard or it doesn't and is discarded. Just like the PDA, when the batteries fail at a critical moment, I went back to the old daytimer and a graphite pencil. That is, it either is used and useful or ignored. A philosophical discussion for other essays, perhaps. I got to thinking of the photo essay in the range of 10 to 30 images. Sometimes I call these essays studies. How should and could this be handled? Is there a market for such product? And so on. If so, what would it look like? And can we experiment? One brief step backwards. I've maintained for about 50 years now that every single image is its own narrative. Every image tells one or more stories. If we combine them, that is, group them, it becomes an essay or a collection of narratives telling more stories. And that is oversimplified, but you get the concept, I think. The narrative idea, a photo essay, photographic essay, image essay, photo series, photo study, and so on, is a set or a series of photographs that are intended to tell a story or evoke a series of emotions in the viewer. Think of journalistic endeavors and non-journalistic endeavors. I am less a journalist than an observer and a recorder of those observations. That is a big part of the earth sciences, so it just kind of fits with me. A photo essay will often show pictures in deep emotional stages. Many of you are too young to remember the big image magazines such as Life and Look. You are all acquainted with the National Geographic or the Canadian Geographic. They are a bit closer to what I am thinking about. Photo essays range from purely photographic works to photographs with captions or a few notes, to full text essays with a few or many accompanying photographs. This is what Wikipedia has to say on the subject. For me, if the text is over 30% of the essay spread, it's not a photo or image essay, it's a text essay with images. No hard and fast rules here. Two, we will just need to make them up as we go along, I guess. Photo essays can, and I would argue, are mostly sequential in nature intended to be viewed in a particular order, or they may be non-ordered photographs viewed at once or in any order the viewer chooses. This is something like viewing someone's photo album. The difference is the unity of theme or purpose. That is to raise the emotions or the developing of a greater narrative. Any of us who have created an album with some purpose other than to simply collect in one place has made a photo essay. I have often said we take photographs or create images for the purpose of sharing. It seems a rather costly and futile industry to just make and store without sharing. Before I started, as I found it, I had that sharing problem. Oh, you selected what you thought Grandma wanted to see and made copies for her. You corralled your friends and relatives in front of the screen and ran through carousel after carousel of slides and so on. And when I got digital, I started making DVDs and CDs, and with my trip to Greece and perhaps a compendium of small 30 to 10 image sets, each with a specific theme or subject, adding unity. I would send them out just before Christmas. I am convinced, as I found it, through the use of the photo essay, offers an even better way of sharing. The big advantage is the viewer chooses and feels no obligation if he or she is not interested. Wikipedia goes on to list examples. Throughout my voiceover ramblings, the images of this essay set have been displaying. Now be a good listener and repeat the little movie, but this time turn the sound off. Experience the presentation as a unified set of images that are telling a story, and doing so without the distractions of my voice and ideas. I trust you have enjoyed this second video blog. I trust I have raised issues that are of interest to you. I trust that some of you will join in the discussion about digital photo essays.